With a month in the books, it's time for 5 thoughts, and my first one this week is about Trae Young, whose basic numbers are eye-popping for a sophomore, but is he already an all-star? He's setting up his teammates more this year and has improved his accuracy a bit in the mid-range, but otherwise Trae's shot profile is similar to his rookie campaign. He is getting to the line more, which is a good sign, although at 82% from the stripe, I think he has room to grow there. As I noted in his rookie profile last year, he's again taking threes from a 4-point line, launching these deeper than anyone else in the league, and that's really impressive, but limits his percentages. Of course, Trae's most dangerous weapon is still that preternatural passing, which continues to evolve at age 21. Young has some unique passing tendencies, primarily his patience on most actions. He wants to make home run passes and will hold and probe until a defender relaxes. Notice that he has a path to the shooter here, but what he really wants is to see how this help defender reacts. When he stays home, Trae switches to the kick out, but the help leaves, so he goes for the layup pass and it's a foul. It's not that he won't make this more basic pass, it's just that his preference is for layups. He forces this help defender to commit to the rolling big. It looks like Harris is there, but he's small and on the wrong side of the roll man, so Trae floats it to the front of the rim anyway. With the defender underneath, most modern pick-and-roll conductors shoot this thing into the corner, but Young almost treats these like entry passes because the defender is again on the outside of the big man. This use of the bounce pass allows him to do stuff like this, where it looks like nothing is available, but if that help defender leans out to the corner, Young can slip it in for another layup. Thanks to passes like these, an incredible 61% of Trae's dimes have led to layups this year, the third best rate in the league. And that patience and constant awareness of the backline help can, oh my god, what did he just do? Play it again. Okay, to be fair, he's not hitting these all the time, and he has this seal a lot and doesn't go for it, and more importantly, his size still shuts off passes that are easier for bigger wings to make. He can still fly into traffic and get stuck, leading to turnovers like this, and that lack of height hurts him in these spots where he can't really see over the top. Defense, of course, is still the larger issue here, and his negative value on that end pulls down his star-level offense. He's merely top 100 in major impact metrics right now, and I'm not quite sure he's an all-star yet because of that defense, but his offense is getting good enough that he's really close. Thought number 2 is about Brandon Ingram's shooting improvement. Ingram has tweaked his shot this season, likely thanks to assistant coach Fred Vinson. Ingram's motion is faster and more efficient now. He's no longer releasing this near the top of his jump, and so he doesn't pause the ball back by his right ear. The whole thing's just smoother now. Brandon's shooting 47% on over 5 threes a game, after taking only 2 per game at 33% in his first 3 years. But he's going to cool off. Let's put all this into perspective. In the three-point era, only 48 players have attempted fewer than 4 threes per 100 in one season, and then increase their volume by at least 4 more attempts the next season. Many of those players were already good shooters. 28 of them shot over 75% from the line, for instance. Think of guys like Mo Williams, who shot 35% from 3 in the season that he bumped up his volume, or Brook Lopez, who hit 43% of his long twos in the years before he expanded his range to 3-point distance. Remember, Ingram was just 68% from the line last year, and among players who had never shot 75% from the stripe, only Deshaun Stevenson hit 38% from 3 in one of these years, moving from low-volume shooting to high-volume 3-point shooting. This is a rolling 10-game average of Ingram's 3-point accuracy throughout his career, and when we add volume, it's clear that this is more than just a little hot streak, but some regression is still coming. Heck, Brandon's at 51% from the mid-range right now, making him much better than Kawhi Leonard on those shots, and that's not sustainable. Even hitting 38% from 3 at Ingram's current volume would be an incredibly rare improvement, and this is a huge factor to monitor since so much of Brandon's value right now comes from his scoring game. Thought number 3 is about Utah walling off Giannis. Giannis has been incredible this year, but the Jazz defensive scheme built around Rudy Gobert gave him fits last week. Utah used that wall-building concept I detailed in last year's playoffs, keeping players connected to stop Giannis from Euro-stepping into space. Rudy Gobert also shored up the paint all night, and Utah executed beautifully. Look at Rudy's reaction here to deter a shot from Bledsoe, and then the picture-perfect X-out. Mitchell goes to the shooter, Bogdanović takes the corner, and look at how well-positioned they are. So when it hits Giannis, 2 defenders are there, plus Gobert behind, and Mitchell's splitting the difference here perfectly, and it's a turnover. Great execution. When Giannis was at center, he had no ability to drive into Gobert, and you can see how in sync Utah is on a play like this. Gobert wants to switch back, that brings the weak side up into position with 2 temporarily on the ball, and Giannis fumbles it going into Rudy. In delayed transition, Antetokounmpo challenges Gobert, and that's a bad idea. It's rare for Giannis not to be physically imposing, but he had no chance here. Even when Gobert wasn't on Giannis, his paint coverage walled him off. Rudy is so quick sliding down on these, and Antetokounmpo commits a PTSD-related turnover, I think. With Gobert out, Giannis was finally able to do some damage. He could get in the paint and score without Rudy lurking behind, and he didn't score on Gobert until the 4th here, flashing this nice step back. That could be a huge weapon for him going forward, by the way. But overall, Rudy Gobert plus a wall-building Jazz scheme worked wonders for most of the night. Thought number 4, can Kendrick Nunn win Rookie of the Year? The Heat's second leading scorer actually went undrafted last year before doing a lap for the Warriors G League team. After coming off the bench for them, he's started every game for the Heat and is their second leading scorer at 18 per night. He's considered a positive player both in 538's new Raptor model and my box plus minus model, and the most impressive thing about Nunn to me is that he can create for his teammates as well as himself. He's 3rd in estimated shots created on the Heat, and that kind of scoring and shot creation is very rare among rookie guards. Only a dozen first-year guards have an era-adjusted scoring rate of 20 points on positive true shooting, with at least 4 shot attempts created per 100. It's a stacked list of names, although Nunn's much older and doesn't get to the line like any of them, so it's unlikely he improves too much in the future. Still, he's been a revelation for the Heat, and at 24, he'd be the oldest Rookie of the Year ever, ahead of David Robinson by 3 days, and if he keeps this up, he might win the award a year after coming off the bench in the G League. And finally, thought number 5 is about Derrick Rose. Can he add another trophy to his case next to his MVP and his Emmy? Rose has been bothered by a hamstring strain, and at 31, I think we're all concerned with how well he can hold up, but his minutes off the pine have been more explosive than we've seen in years. Rose's scoring per possession and his true shooting are both at an all-time high right now, and his crossover and speed have been hard for many defenders to contain. He doesn't have the same what did I just see bounce off the floor, but today's spaced out game has helped him shoot a career high 69% at the rim. He can have tunnel vision sometimes on these. Hey, there's Trae. And I'm not sure it's realistic for him to dethrone reigning bench king Lou Williams, but Rose's numbers are so good right now that it might get him into the conversation. The latest Thinking Basketball podcast is a collaboration with the Ringer's J. Kyle Mann. You might know him as the Dime Drop. We discuss Luka, legacies, and more. If you want more Thinking Basketball content, head on over to patreon.com/thinkingbasketball, where you can support this channel. Thanks to all the new subscribers over there. And of course, I hope that you are having a great day.